Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show that really tries to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you become truly well-informed. Have you ever felt like maybe your sleep problems were your fault?
Oh, absolutely. Or that you just weren't normal because, you couldn't stick to that perfect sleep schedule everyone talks about.
Yeah, exactly. And all that one-size-fits-all advice about sleep, it can feel overwhelming, right? And honestly, it can make you feel a bit guilty.
And that feeling, that sense of failure, it can be incredibly isolating, can't it? When we're told there's just one way to sleep and, well, our bodies or our lives just don't fit that mold, it's so easy to think it's something wrong with us.
Well, today we're definitely going to challenge those rigid standards. Our mission in this deep dive is to unpack Diana Navarro's really insightful book, Your Sleep Sweet Spot.
Hmm.
We're diving deep into her core idea, her philosophy, that finding truly restorative sleep isn't about conforming to some, mythical norm.
Right. It's much more about understanding and really honoring your unique bio-individuality. That's her term for it.
Yeah, it's a concept as distinct as your DNA, she says. So we'll explore why sleep and dreams are completely non-negotiable, why so much of the current advice maybe falls short.
And crucially, how you can craft a personalized ritual, something that works for you,
Yeah.
for profound rest and vitality.
Exactly. Get ready to maybe rethink everything you thought you knew about getting a good night's sleep. So let's start with the elephant in the bedroom. That golden rule we hear all the time. You must get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. It's everywhere.
It really is. And if you don't hit that target, there's this immediate kind of societal pressure, sometimes even a sense of shame, like you're failing at something basic.
Yeah.
But what Navarro argues really powerfully is that this standard is totally human-made. It's not natural. It just completely ignores millions of us.
Like the night owls or the early birds.
Exactly. The night owls, the daylarks, as she sometimes calls them, shift workers. People whose biological clocks, their circadian rhythms, are just fundamentally wired differently.
So she is saying your sleep needs are unique, like a fingerprint. That's where bioindividuality comes in.
Precisely.
Hmm.
That term really underscores this uniqueness. And it's why she kind of pushes back against the often really prescriptive idea of sleep hygiene.
Right, that term always felt a bit clinical.
It does. And she suggests something more empowering, thinking in terms of a sleep habit, ritual, or routine, something that invites you to define what actually works for your life, your body.
And Navarro makes a really strong point, doesn't she, about the consequences of trying to force ourselves into the wrong sleep schedule?
Oh, yeah. She warns it leads straight to chronic sleep deprivation. And importantly, she frames this not as a sign of weakness, but as a serious systemic health issue.
Okay, so why does that matter so much? Why is forcing it so bad?
Well, Navarro details this just staggering list of problems linked to chronic sleep deprivation. It's not just feeling groggy. No. We're talking about increased risks for things like obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease,
Mm.
even a higher likelihood of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's down the line.
Wow.
Yeah, and she even points out this alarming link between night shift work, which obviously messes with your natural light cycles, and increased risks of certain cancers, like breast and colon cancer.
That's serious stuff.
It really is. Sleep deprivation isn't just about being tired. It's like a slow, systemic attack on our whole body. It contributes to anxiety, depression, more accidents, even premature aging.
So understanding your natural rhythm isn't just nice to have, it's actually vital for preventing some really serious health problems.
It's vital. It's foundational.
So if you've ever felt guilty for not hitting that, perfect 8-hour mark, Navarro is basically saying that guilt is misplaced. Understanding your unique wiring is the first step.
Exactly. It's about liberation from that imposed standard.
Okay, so we've established sleep is way more complex than just clocking in and out. Let's dive into why it's so critical. What's actually happening when we close our eyes? It's clearly more than just shutting down the system.
Oh, absolutely. Navarro touches on 4 popular theories for why we sleep. Simple inactivity, saving energy, restoration, brain plasticity.
Uh-huh.
But the key takeaway is just how deeply sleep impacts every single biological system in our bodies. Physically, it's this profound repair time.
Repairing what specifically?
Oh, our muscles mend themselves, our metabolism gets regulated, blood pressure too. And fascinatingly, our brain literally cleans itself out, flushing away metabolic waste products that build up during the day.
Like taking out the trash.
Pretty much. And then mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, sleep offers this crucial break, this space where problems can sometimes get solved and clarity can emerge often without us even consciously trying.
It really does sound like an intricate, busy process. Can you maybe walk us through the actual stages of sleep? What's the brain up to during all this?
Yeah, sure. So we cycle through stages. First, there's NREM, that's non-rapid eye movement sleep. It has three parts.
Okay.
N1 is really light sleep, that drifting off stage.
Yeah.
N2 is when you're properly asleep, breathing is steady. And N3, that's the deep restorative sleep. Super important for physical repair, hormone release, that kind of thing.
Got it. N1, N2, N3. Then what?
Then we usually enter REM sleep, rapid eye movement. That's the main dream stage. It typically happens about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. And interestingly, each REM cycle tends to get longer as the night goes on.
And the brain's active during all this. It's not just off.
Not at all. It's
there.
incredibly active, just in different ways. You
Mhm.
see different brainwave patterns, like the deeper, slower delta waves characterize that really restorative N3 sleep, while you might see faster alpha waves when you're calm but awake.
Ah,
And Navarro also points out this amazing thing called the sensory convergence zone in the thalamus, deep in the brain. It's regulated by a neurotransmitter called orexin. Yeah, orexin. And it basically acts like a gatekeeper or a bouncer, effectively blocking out most external noise and light so your rest isn't easily disturbed.
wow. So the brain is always working, just doing different, really essential jobs while we sleep.
Precisely. Different modes, all crucial.
Okay, when we talk about sleep problems, the word insomnia comes up immediately, right? But Diana Navarro seems to reframe this quite a bit.
She really does. She sees insomnia less as a single disease and more as, well, an umbrella term. Often it's a symptom that could have many, many potential causes.
Not just one thing.
Exactly. She explains it can be primary, meaning it sort of develops on its own without an obvious trigger, or secondary, where it's a direct result of some other illness or maybe medication side effects.
And it can be short-term or long-term.
Right. Acute, transient, or chronic. And Navarro is quite critical of the common approach, just prescribing medication quickly without digging deep into those underlying causes. She really urges looking beyond the surface symptoms.
That makes sense. Now, Navarro also gets into some really kind of mysterious territory. Parasomnias. These are those sometimes bizarre, maybe unsettling sleep experiences.
Yes, things like sleepwalking, night terrors, even that really frightening experience of sleep paralysis, where you might feel awake but can't move, maybe hear voices or feel a presence.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
It can be. And she emphasizes that these experiences, maybe they need more than just a simple biological explanation. Especially with sleep paralysis, she actually suggests exploring possibilities like spiritual experiences or even soul travel.
Wow, that's different.
It is. And she also notes, importantly, that adults are often hesitant to even talk about these things because of shame or fear of being judged.
Yeah.
So having a holistic, open-minded view is really important here.
Then there are conditions that just fundamentally challenge our whole idea of a normal sleep schedule, things that show how diverse human sleep really is.
Definitely. Things like narcolepsy, which involves excessive daytime sleepiness and sudden sleep attacks, or hypersomnia, just sleeping too much, shift work sleep disorder, jet lag. These all disrupt the typical pattern.
And they really make you question what normal even means in sleep, don't they?
Absolutely. And conditions like delayed sleep phase syndrome, DSPS, or advanced sleep phase syndrome, ASPS, these describe people whose internal body clocks are just fundamentally shifted.
So they naturally want to sleep and wake much later or much earlier than typical.
Exactly. They simply can't easily adjust to standard societal times. Navarro discusses various theories. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's patterns learned early in life. We don't fully know.
And she also talks about different sleep cycles, not just one block of sleep.
Yes. The concept of monophasic sleep, one main sleep period at night, versus polyphasic sleep, which involves multiple sleep periods, like biphasic sleep, maybe a long night's sleep and a shorter nap.
Like a siesta culture.
Sort of, yeah. Or even more segmented patterns. Her main point is that different cycles can absolutely work for different individuals, which directly challenges that one block of sleep ideal we often assume is best.
And finally, she really highlights the deep, undeniable impact of things like trauma, chronic pain, and illness on our sleep.
Things like cardiovascular issues, neurological disorders, endocrine problems, chronic pain like fibromyalgia, or any form of trauma. Acute, chronic, complex, they all profoundly disrupt our ability to get restorative sleep.
It seems like a vicious cycle sometimes.
It often is. Navarro's message here is critical.
Mm.
Like, you have to address these underlying issues holistically if you want to improve sleep. She talks about the chicken and egg dilemma. Does the illness cause sleeplessness, or does sleeplessness worsen the illness?
Right. Often both.
Probably both. So true healing means looking at the whole picture. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being are all interconnected. Sleep isn't just affected by these things, it's also a powerful tool for recovery. That connection is vital.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Dreams. For so long, they've been kind of dismissed as just random mental noise. But Diana Navarro really challenges that, doesn't she?
Oh, completely. She brings up some compelling evidence, citing numerous famous breakthroughs in creative works that were actually inspired by dreams.
Like what?
Well, things like the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA, Mary Shelley getting the idea for Frankenstein, the concept for the movie Inception, even Google's algorithm apparently came from a dream, Einstein's theory of relativity, Paul McCartney hearing the melody for Yesterday. The list is pretty amazing.
Wow, so dreams aren't just noise.
Her point is, clearly not. Yeah. And what's really insightful is looking back historically. Ancient civilizations often didn't even distinguish between the waking world and the dream world.
Really?
Yeah, in Hindu and various Eastern traditions, dreams were often seen as a higher state of being. And even modern figures like Carl Jung talked about archetypes and the collective unconscious we tap into through dreams. So they seem deeply embedded in human experience, maybe as a source of wisdom we often overlook.
It's not just about, you know, birthing creative genius, though. Navarro's insight seems to be that these examples reveal something universal, right? Our unconscious mind is working on stuff.
Exactly. It's not just processing random data. It seems to be actively solving problems, making connections that our logical waking mind can't always manage. It hints at this incredible cognitive power we usually ignore.
So what exactly are dreams doing for us then, beyond maybe inspiring a hit song?
Well, during REM sleep, the brain seems particularly geared towards processing emotions, problem solving, and boosting creativity. It does this partly by temporarily dialing down our very logical, often critical left brain conscious mind.
So it lets other parts take over.
Kind of. And it seems to be a healing space, too. We can process emotionally charged events, even trauma, but without the intense hit of stress hormones like noradrenaline that we'd feel if we were awake. This might allow us to integrate difficult experiences, gain new perspectives, literally sleep on it to find clarity.
That's incredible to think about. Navarro also outlines different types of dreams, doesn't she? Not just everyday stuff.
Right. Everything from everyday, mundane dreams reflecting our daily lives to more profound experiences like lucid dreams.
That's where you know you're dreaming.
Exactly. And sometimes you can even influence what happens. Then there are potentially healing dreams, maybe even prophetic dreams, or what she calls transformational dreams that lead to major life shifts.
So the big question then is, how do we understand what our dreams mean?
Good question. Navarro recommends dream analysis, primarily through journaling. Just writing them down is the first step. She suggests looking at universal symbols as potential guides.
Like if you dream of water or flying.
Yeah, things like that. And this is crucial, she strongly encourages you to trust your own intuition, your gut feeling about what a dream means to you, because every dream is ultimately bio-individual.
So a spider in my dream might mean something totally different than in yours.
Precisely. The interpretation has to resonate with your inner wisdom, your personal associations and feelings. It's not a dictionary lookup.
Okay, now here's where it gets really fascinating, maybe a bit out there for some. Navarro's take on the spiritual dimension of dreams.
She proposes seeing dreams as possibly a bridge, a connection to what she calls a non-local realm, like crossing between the physical world we know and maybe a spiritual dimension.
Potentially involving things like soul travel, or tapping into senses we don't normally acknowledge.
Yeah, things like intuition or our proprioceptive sense, knowing where our body is in space, or our vestibular sense, balance and movement. She suggests we might be accessing deeper levels of awareness or information during dream states.
How does she frame that in relation to, say, science?
Well, connecting this to the bigger picture, Navarro really encourages keeping an open mind. She suggests that science is actually rapidly evolving, starting to understand phenomena that were once dismissed as purely subjective or invisible.
So integrating different fields.
Exactly. She advocates for integrating insights from integral neuroscience, neuropsychology, but also not forgetting ancient wisdom traditions that always valued dreams. Perhaps there's much more happening when we dream than our standard five senses can pick up on. It opens a door to potentially deeper understanding and connection.
All right, let's bring this back to the practical. Moving from theory to practice, Diana Navarro makes this interesting shift away from sleep hygiene. What does she propose instead?
She talks about crafting a sleep ritual. The idea is to move beyond a sterile checklist of hygiene rules towards more intentional, mindful habits.
Like elevating ordinary tasks.
Precisely, turning simple actions into almost sacred ceremonies that signal healing, creativity, grounding, and peace to your mind and body.
How does that work in practice? How do you build a ritual?
Well, what's really key here is the power of conscious choice. Navarro outlined how habit formation works generally. You consciously decide on the new behavior you want. You actively make space for it, both physically and maybe emotionally.
Yeah.
You set realistic timelines for yourself, maybe track your progress somehow, and really importantly, you celebrate the small wins along the way. It's about creating these consistent, mindful practices that gently tell your whole system, okay, it's time to settle down now, time to prepare for deep rest.
That leads us nicely to the wind down time. She emphasizes that's crucial, right? Our bodies can't just, as she puts it, clonk out.
Exactly. We need a transition period, a signal. Simple, practical actions can make a huge difference here. Things like conscious breathing techniques.
Like deep belly breathing.
Yeah, belly breathing. Or maybe a calming 4-8 count. Breath inhale for 4, exhale for 8. And also simple relaxation methods you can do right in bed, like progressive muscle relaxation or a gentle body scan meditation.
These aren't just things to do then, but ways to consciously shift your nervous system.
That's the idea, helping your nervous system transition from that active go-go-go state to a more restorative rest and digest mode.
Makes sense. And beyond these personal rituals, optimizing the actual sleep environment is obviously huge, creating a kind of sensory sanctuary tailored to you.
Absolutely. We need to think about all our senses. For sight, she stresses total darkness is best for melatonin release. So maybe investing in good eye masks or blackout curtains.
Okay, darkness for sight. What about sound?
For sound, it's about managing disruptions. Navarro suggests things like white noise or pink noise machines or maybe soothing music. She mentions Baroque, ambient electronica, even new age or tribal sounds can work for some people. Or just good old earplugs if noise is a big issue.
And scent. You mentioned aromatherapy.
Yeah, scent can be incredibly powerful for relaxation. Using essential oils like lavender, vanilla, or ylang-ylang in a diffuser, maybe adding a few drops to a warm bath, or even a gentle self-massage before bed.
Nice. Touch is important too, I imagine. Bedding and mattress.
Hugely important. Investing in a comfortable, supportive mattress, maybe with a topper if needed, and pillows that actually suit your sleeping position. And of course, soft, clean sheets and blankets. Comfort is key.
Right. And lastly, taste. Or rather, food and drink.
Yeah, the general advice holds here. Try to avoid heavy, spicy, or greasy meals maybe 3-4 hours before bed. Limit caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine, especially later in the day. If you do need a snack, opt for something light, maybe with some protein and fiber.
And this all ties back to treating your body well overall, right? Including dealing with pain or even just brushing your teeth before bed.
Absolutely. It's all part of the ritual, honoring your body, addressing physical pain actively, maintaining good oral hygiene. It all contributes to preparing for rest.
So you've got your body and senses hopefully starting to relax, but what about that racing mind, the thoughts that just won't shut up?
Ah, yes, the busy brain. Navarro offers some really practical solutions here. One is the worry journal.
How does that work?
Basically, you just write down all your anxieties, everything that's buzzing around in your head. Then you consciously make a decision to defer dealing with them until tomorrow. Get them out of your head and onto paper.
Like scheduling your worrying.
Kind of. Regular diary writing in general can also help process the day. And maybe some light, non-stimulating reading before bed. Nothing too exciting or work-related.
And meditation or yoga?
Definitely. She highlights practices like breathing-focused meditation, body scans, or guided imagery as really powerful ways to quiet the mental chatter and guide yourself towards deep relaxation and peaceful sleep. It's like training your mind to unwind.
Okay, one last piece she brings up is the energy in our actual space, our bedroom. She talks about design blindness.
Yeah, that's the idea that we can get so used to our surroundings, even if they're cluttered or unhealthy, that we just don't see it anymore. We become desensitized.
And clutter affects sleep.
She argues it really does. A cluttered space can contribute to a cluttered mind. So she offers simple organizing tips. Use baskets, give items a designated home, try to clean up a little as you go, make the bedroom a calm space.
And she takes it a step further, too, into the energy of the space.
Yes, beyond just the physical tidiness, Navarro introduces the more spiritual dimension of space energy. She mentions feng shui, the ancient Chinese art and science of placement and flow, and also space clearing practices, which are about cleansing the energetic vibrations of a room.
So tidying up on an energetic level, too.
Exactly. She argues these aspects are actually crucial for creating a true sleep sanctuary, going beyond just what we can see and touch to really nurture our whole being for rest.
Wow, okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive, the main takeaway seems to be that finding your sleep sweet spot, as Navarro calls it, is a really personal journey.
Deeply personal. It's about combining self-awareness, making informed choices based on what we've discussed, and creating those intentional rituals that feel right for you.
It's about respecting your unique bio-individuality, isn't it? And feeling empowered to move beyond that rigid, often unsuitable advice we've all heard.
Absolutely. You are now armed with a lot more information, practical tools, and hopefully a more holistic perspective to really claim the restorative sleep you deserve.
And it's not about achieving perfection overnight, right?
Not at all. It's about persistence, patience, and really tuning into your own body's profound wisdom, listening to what it needs.
So here's something to think about. What surprising insights, what kind of profound healing, or maybe what incredible creative breakthroughs might you unlock in your waking life if you truly started to embrace and honor the mysterious yet deeply personal world of your own unique sleep and dreams?
What might your intuition tell you if you really gave it the space to speak during your rest?
Lots to consider. Until next time, sleep well and keep diving deep.